Hi, I'm Ron Bateman, the Sheriff of Anne Arundel County. Welcome to your Anne Arundel's Most Wanted program, a program where we showcase wanted criminals, highlight open cases, and look to you for tips. You, concerned citizens, that share my same goal, and that's keeping our communities safe. You'd be proud to know that your calls have allowed us to put handcuffs on thousands of criminals. So sit back, set your DVR, or grab a pen and paper, and help do your part in catching criminals. You're watching Anne Arundel's Most Wanted.
And of course, our regular guest, Corporal Amy Megath from the Annapolis Police Department. Welcome back to the show, Amy.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
I've got 3 today. The first one is Torka Michelle Ford. Her date of birth is June 3rd of 1971. She's an African-American female, 5 foot 4 inches tall, weighing 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Her last known address is 1914 Vincent Street in Annapolis. She has a warrant for first and second degree assault, possession of a dangerous weapon with intent to injure, and reckless endangerment. This warrant stems from an incident in February of this year when officers were flagged down by an adult male victim. The victim reported that Ford tried to stab him with 2 kitchen knives, and when she was unsuccessful, she bit his arm. Officers tried to find Ford but could not locate her. An officer obtained an arrest warrant for Ford. Second subject we have is Hidardo Lopez Ortiz. He also goes by Hidardo Ortiz. His date of birth is June 7th of 1963. He's a Hispanic male, 5 foot 6 inches tall, weighing 200 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. His last known address is 628 Island Creek Court in Annapolis, and he has 3 open warrants. We featured Lopez Ortiz in December last year, and we are featuring him again because of the serious nature of the charges he is facing. Lopez Ortiz has 3 warrants, 2 for failing to appear in court on traffic charges, and most importantly, a warrant for first and second degree rape, second degree assault, third degree sex offense, and 2 counts of sexual abuse of a minor. This warrant stems from the Anne Arundel County Child Advocacy Center contacting us to report a possible sex offense that occurred in Annapolis. A juvenile victim reported that Lopez Ortiz sexually abused her over a 2-year period from when she was 8 years old until she was 10 years old. The detective obtained an arrest warrant for Lopez Ortiz. Help us arrest Lopez Ortiz so he can face these charges. And the third subject we have is Rondell Lirio Brightly. He also goes by Dale. His date of birth is August 30th of 1975. He's an African-American male, 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighing 180 pounds. He has a shaved bald head and brown eyes. His last known address is 622 Severn Island Court in Annapolis. He has an open warrant for first and second degree assault and 2 counts of second degree assault. This warrant stems from an incident in February of this year. The adult male victim reported that he and Brightly began a verbal argument and Brightly punched him. Another man then joined the fight, assaulting the victim. The victim broke away, but Brightly caught up to him and was carrying a 4-foot-long stick. Brightly struck the victim in the head with the stick, then left the area. The victim left the area and reported the assault. The victim had a laceration on his head that required 4 staples and injuries to his leg, eye, and face. Officers were able to identify Brightly as one of the suspects, and this warrant was obtained.
Very good. Folks, you know the whereabouts of any of those individuals. Do not approach them. Call that number, 410-222-1490 or 911 24 hours a day. Thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you, Sheriff.
And of course, it's my pleasure to introduce another regular guest on our show, Mark Lemansky from the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Welcome back to the show, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Sheriff.
Who'd you bring for us?
We have 3 individuals today, Sheriff. We have the first one is Monty Paul Houseman. He is a 28-year-old white male with blonde hair and blue eyes. He's 5 feet 10 inches tall, 165 pounds, with a date of birth of January 11th, 1989. His last known address is 1212 Driftwood Court in Arnold, Maryland. On March 8, 2017, our victim in this case was fortunate to have won several $1,000s at a casino. Unfortunately, he shared this accomplishment over social media, Later that evening, as he entered his hotel room, he was accosted by a male dressed in all black and carrying a handgun. The male demanded money won by the victim. The victim complied and the male fled from the scene. The investigation revealed Monty Houseman as the person who committed the robbery. Houseman currently has an active warrant charging him with armed robbery. The second individual is Tromaine Herbert Story. He is a 39-year-old black male with short gray hair and brown eyes. He is 5 feet 11 inches tall, 170 pounds, with a date of birth of November 3rd, 1977. His last known address is 7816 Cantor Court in Severn, Maryland. In the early morning hours of February 8, 2017, a home invasion robbery occurred at a home on 10 Brook Drive in Odenton. 5 males entered the residence and announced the robbery. 2 of the males were armed with handguns and 1 had a shotgun. 2 armed males struck the victims with the weapons, causing the victims to fall to the ground. The males then forced the victims to remove their clothing. During the robbery, the suspects removed tablets, phones, cash, car keys, and house keys. The investigation revealed Tromaine Story as one of the suspects who committed the robbery. Story is currently wanted on an active warrant and is charged with armed robbery and burglary. Our last individual is Dominique Terrell Lang. He is a 25-year-old black male, black hair and brown eyes. He is 6 feet tall, 235 pounds, with a date of birth of March 19, 1992. His last known address is 190 Virginia Lane in Glen Burnie, Maryland. On March 16, 2017, Lang was involved in an assault during which he choked a female victim while pushing her over the hood of a vehicle. The victim's boyfriend was able to intervene and separate the victim from Lang. The investigation revealed that Lang has a history of abuse and drug dealing and is known to carry firearms. He drives a silver Nissan Altima with tinted windows, unknown registration, and has been reported to be involved with the Piru Bloods gang. He also prides himself on his ability to conceal contraband on his person. Lang currently has an active warrant for domestic assault and reckless endangerment.
Very good, folks. You know the whereabouts of any of those individuals. I know I sound like a broken record every single month. But do not approach them. Instead, call that number 410-222-1490 or 911 24 hours a day. Mark, thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Sheriff.
And now everyone recognizes our next guest. It's Detective Sergeant Ed Eicher from the Maryland State Police, Glen Burnie Barrack. Welcome back to the show, my brother.
Thanks, sir.
Who'd you bring for us?
We have 3. Today we have Shaunice Michelle Belton, black female, September 12th, 1978. Last known address of Mariband Court in Baltimore. In 2013, Ms. Belton was involved in a single motor vehicle crash on I-97 in the Glen Burnie area. Belton was the driver of a vehicle that, for an unknown reason, decided to go off the road and flip over, landing against the guardrail. She was found to be the driver of the vehicle and had 1 additional passenger in the vehicle at the time of the crash. During the investigation, Belton was found to have an alcoholic beverage emitting from her breath and person and subsequently tested for alcohol impairment and found to be under the influence and was charged accordingly. Since that date, and beginning in 2014, Ms. Belton has had several court dates and has failed to respond for any of them. Her most recent would be February of 2017, where she failed to appear for that charge yet again. As a result, an active bench warrant is currently being held on Ms. Belton. Second is Adrian Lamar Looney. He's a black male, January 15th, 1993, of Gesna Drive in Hanover. In January of this year, Mr. Looney was at the district courthouse for a protective order hearing. During that time, he sat behind the respondent of the protective order and continually made contact with her during the court session. This action was observed by several other people as well as bailiffs inside the court. As a result, Looney was arrested and was ordered by the judge to certain pretrial terms which he failed to comply with. As a result of those failures, a bench warrant is now active on Mr. Looney. And last is Miss Kelly Christine McCormick, a white female, May 23rd, 1984, of West Bay Avenue in Baltimore. In February of this year, troopers from the Criminal Enforcement Division answered an ad on the back page as part of a prostitution sting. Several complaints have been answered about prostitution and nuisance in the Brooklyn Park area. Troopers answered this ad from a female subject identified as Miss McCormick, and she stated on the back page that she would perform sexual acts for U.S. currency. Contact was made with Miss McCormick via text message by the Criminal Enforcement Division, and she provided her address and description of services and the payments for those services. Troopers responded to her location provided by her, where they in fact did meet her for the purpose of sexual acts for cash. Once Ms. McCormick's identity was accomplished, she was arrested and charged with prostitution. Currently, Ms. McCormick has active charges for this case, but has since left the previous address where she was contacted.
Very good. Folks, you know the whereabouts of any of those individuals, do not contact. Instead, call that number on the screen, 410-222-1490 or 911, 24 hours a day. Keep the calls coming in because they are definitely paying off. Ed, thank you, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
Before we start with those subjects wanted by the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office, I want to tell our viewers about an operation that we're going to be performing in the latter part of June of this year. It's going to be called the FTA Forgiveness Operation. And what it will do, it's a collaboration between the Sheriff's Office, the State's Attorney's Office, the Office of the Public Defender, and the courts. And we're all working together to try to reduce the number of FTA warrants, those are failure to appear warrants, for misdemeanor cases, which make up about 70% of all of our warrants in Anne Arundel County because people cannot seem to show up for court. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to advertise to have those people who have warrants for misdemeanor offenses for failure to appear to come to the district courthouse in Annapolis on a weekday, and you'll be notified. You'll see it in the newspaper and probably on the TV. To come in, you will not get arrested. If you meet all the criteria, your warrant will basically be dropped, and you'll be giving a new court date for your original misdemeanor offense. So, for example, if you fail to appear on a shoplifting charge and you have a warrant for failing to appear, then you will come in, we will take care of the warrant, it'll actually be dropped by the State's Attorney's Office and the courts, and then my deputies will issue a new summons for you to appear for your original shoplifting charge. So it gives you a kind of a second chance, and it's a way to reduce these FTA warrants. So stay tuned for that. You're going to see it probably in the newspaper and on the various forms of media, social media. So it's not a sting. It is a real operation in our way to try to help get rid of these FTA warrants. So now, for those subjects warranted by the Anne Arundel County Sheriff's Office, our first subject is Mecca Tyara Talley. Talley has 2 open warrants. The first was issued on March the 9th, 2017, for violating the terms of her probation on a prior theft under 1,000 conviction. She missed multiple treatment appointments, tested positive for marijuana and opiates, picked up several jailable traffic citations, and failed to pay the agreed restitution. The second warrant was also issued on March the 9th for violating the terms of her probation for her possession of a regulated firearm conviction. Same story with her list of failures. So today, we are looking for Mecca Tyara Talley, who's a 23-year-old black female with a date of birth of March the 17th, 1994. She's 6 feet tall, weighs 105 pounds, and has brown hair and brown eyes. Her last known address is 6434 Roots Drive in Glen Burnie. Our next subject, it's going to be Michael Patrick Dorsey. Dorsey has 4 open warrants. The first was issued on January the 14th, 2017 for theft under $1,000 and theft scheme for the same. Story goes that during the month of January, he repeatedly shoplifted, check this out, laundry detergent pods from the Brooklyn Shoppers Food Pharmacy. Into the store he went, concealed laundry pods in his coat, passed all points of payment, and exited the store without paying for the merchandise. He brazenly hit the store 3 times on the same day. So apparently this guy needs these laundry pods. The second warrant was issued on February the 3rd of 2017 for failing to comply with the terms of his pretrial release supervision. For example, after he picked up the new charges for shoplifting. Warrant 3 was for failing to appear for court on February the 15th of 2017 for his prior theft under $1,000 case. Warrant number 4 was also issued for failing to appear for court on February the 15th for a prior theft under $100 case. So today, we are looking for Michael Patrick Dorsey, who's a 42-year-old white male with a date of birth of March the 10th, 1975. He's 6 foot 3 inches tall, weighs 200 pounds, and has brown hair and blue eyes. His last known address is 8049 Veteran Highway, lot number 5 in Millersville. And our next subject. It's going to be Megan Rachel Lusk. Lusk has 3 open warrants. All were issued for failing to comply with the terms of her drug court agreement for her prior theft and rogue and vagabond convictions. It's a shame to squander an opportunity to straighten herself out, but Lusk is no stranger to failing to comply. May the 20th, 2015, June the 30th, August the 10th, September 31st, 2016, and again on February 21st, 2017. She's just not getting the message. So today we are looking for Megan Rachel Lusk, who is a 27-year-old white female with a date of birth of June the 22nd of 1989. She's 5 foot 3 inches tall, weighs 120 pounds, and has black hair and brown eyes. Her last known address is 112 Sunset Drive in Annapolis. Now, our last subject is going to be Robert Carl Swanson III. Swanson III has 2 open warrants. The first rolled out of Calvert County Circuit Court on December the 15th of 2016 for failing to pay for his child support. The second was issued out of Anne Arundel County District Court on February the 15th, 2017 for failing to appear for court on his prior assault case. So today, we are looking for Robert Carl Swanson III. He's a 37-year-old white male with the date of birth of August the 10th, 1979. He's 5 foot 9 inches tall, weighs 150 pounds, has a shaved head and blue eyes. His last known address is 21 Greenwood Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Now, as I end, I want to remind the viewers to stay tuned to your local newspaper and the television and social media as we advertise this FTA forgiveness program in the latter part of June of this year. Remember, it's going to be for those people with failure to appear warrants for misdemeanor cases. This is not a sting. This is a great way for you to get rid of that warrant and have a chance to go back to court for your original misdemeanor charge. I also want to put out to our viewers that we have started a brand new cadet program in the Sheriff's Office. It's a great program. I was actually a cadet back in the Anne Arundel County Police Department in 1980, 81, and 82, I think it was. Great program, great way for a youngster to get started in law enforcement at a very early age. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 20 and interested in a field of law enforcement, please call our office and ask for Nancy Drew at 410-222-1571 and then hit 0. Ask for Nancy Drew, and she'll give you all the details about our new cadet program. I'm only hiring 2, so make sure you get those calls coming in to Nancy pretty quick. Now, as I close, I want to thank a few people that allow this show to happen every single month. First, our County Executive, Mr. Steve Shue. Chiefs of Police from the Annapolis Police Department is going to be Scott Baker. He's acting chief. Also, Tim Altamari from the Anne Arundel County Police Department and Bill Palazzi from the Maryland State Police. The guy who puts together this show every single month, my man, Mr. Dale Boyer behind the camera, and also from my office, Lieutenant Jennifer Gilbert Duran, who does a great job. So remember, folks, I'm Sheriff Ron Bateman. Let's keep Anne Arundel County safe. We'll see you next time on Anne Arundel's Most Wanted.